Welcome to the Aim Now podcast, where aspiration, inspiration, and motivation converge in the present moment to forge paths to unparalleled success. My name is Larissa Sherbaini, and I'm here together with my fellow co-founders of the Aim Now community, Dominic London and Joy Haukus. As we are recording this podcast, we come fresh out of our weekly group coaching facilitations, and we want to share with you whatever came up during these group coachings. We want to share our insights, our thoughts, and ideas, first and foremost, to inspire you to take action, to start designing your life the way that you want to have it, so that you can have the success that you deserve.
I think 15 minutes, we might have to make them longer. I don't know. 15 minutes is tight.
Yeah.
It's tight.
For something deep, it's pretty tight. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and the attachment, non-attachment part is crucial, because actually it's everything. Because the truth is only true because of your level of attachment to it.
Yeah.
Which is deep.
Yes.
So even the two ideas of who you are, like the mask you put onto the world, that's one version of a truth that you have. And then there's the true you beneath the mask that maybe have unexpressed ideas or beliefs about the world and the way it is. But it's the only thing that makes that truer is your level of attachment to it. If I challenge something that you're not too bothered about, that's why if I make a statement like, something like just totally, like, even politically incorrect, like blacks are superior to whites. I mean, Jesus Christ, Opus Clip will have it's going to highlight that immediately, right? Because it's so contrasting. Or whites are superior to blacks. Anything that challenges something that is held more deeply, it's gonna revoke an emotional response. Like, what? No, that's not true. Like, you're going. You can't even help it. If I said, spaghetti bolognese is better than lasagna, it registers when you hear it on a different level. It's like, oh, I think I prefer bolognese. It's not gonna stir me emotionally. If I say like Italians are disgusting compared to the French, man, that's a bold statement. That's gonna attack you at a level of truth, which is you're connected to, like, your identity. Like, I'm Italian, we don't, and so I don't know this, but your level of everything.
That's such a deep one, where I'm also thinking about my response to the video. So I shared the video and how I attached am I to the video.
Yeah.
Because when Chris and Kellyanne were sharing, immediately I was like, what are you doing? It's that was my initial response, but
Yeah.
I also could see how luckily my attachment was not that strong to it, because I could very quickly let it go. But if I would unconsciously attach my ability as a coach or whatever to how they would perceive the video and whatever story could be present, I would have been completely stuck in the session.
Yeah.
That's so it's
Yeah.
also, if you're not able to let go of it, that feeling, then you know there's attachment.
There's attachment. And feelings are almost like, they're not great. I wouldn't say people, if you want to succeed in life, following your feelings really isn't something I would advise. But there's levels to that statement, because your feelings are very important, right? Understanding your feelings, being aware of the feelings that you have, and they can be guiding forces. But for example, as it relates to which I haven't really been succeeding at recently. That's my own confession. But like going to the gym, I don't feel like going to the gym. But like when I'm committed to going to the gym, whether I feel like it or not, the feelings, they get put aside. It doesn't matter what feelings, I don't feel like this, I go to the gym, right? So feelings are not something you should rely on to like kind of dictate your commitment. So I want to be clear on that. But you're like you say, your attachment. How do you know when you're attached to something? Because it will stir your feelings. You won't be able to let it go. You know, it will annoy you. You'll be pissed off. It's like you could have a disagreement with your spouse, and this is something that I've struggled with for years. If we have a disagreement, but then my wife's like, no, let's drop it now. But I'm like, no, because we haven't got to the bottom of it. Like I'm attached to getting to the bottom of it. I feel like you're dismissing the fact that you've created an emotional disruption in the house. And now and I almost feel angry that you can just get over it. How can you just let it go? So I'm attached to the truth that we need to continue this conversation, right?
Yeah.
But this is more interesting for sure. Like it's like, what is our level of attachment? How do you know you're attached to something? You know, because your feelings will they're an indicator that, oh yeah, I haven't let that go, or I can't get over that.
And it's
That's what,
there's a, yeah, I believe but this is hard to distinguish, but I do believe there's a difference between feelings and intuition, where when you, even a few weeks ago, where you were in a phase of, I feel something else is calling me right now, or I feel something else is guiding me. This is not, let's say, there's no attachment. Well, maybe, I don't know, of course, the whole situation, but it didn't feel like there was any attachment there. And it was
no,
coming from an intuition, as in, well, this is a different kind of feeling or that's present. So
yeah,
there's,
yeah, more a curiosity and an honoring,
yeah,
you know, more of a curiosity and honoring. But yeah, our attachment to requests expressing ourselves, even a video that we shared, it's like, was the guy attached to drawing the crowd? Like, no. I mean, we would never know the truth, but it definitely didn't appear to be that way. Um, but lo and behold, he drew a crowd. But what he was attached to was having fun, of being
you
free,
want to have fun. Yeah.
of feeling the music, and that's what he was committed to. And it didn't matter what anyone else said. Um, it didn't matter what anyone else was saying about him, laughing, ridiculing him. It's like, you do you. I'm gonna do me. Like I'm just gonna be free, baby. Like just gonna have fun. And I do believe in every single one of us deep down inside, there is a desire to be free. Like when you have a desire to do something, and then your thought process is like, nah, that's embarrassing, or nah, I can't be seen doing that. Like it's connected to like almost like an innate nature for us to actually like break free of social condition.
Yeah, that's the attachment piece. The attachment to how do you see yourself or how do you think other people perceive you? And it's like that's what you're attached to in that
How do
moment.
you know how attached you are? Is because it will dictate the action that you take. So a lot of the things that motivate me is taking the actions when a truth that exists inside of me is, oh, that's going to be deemed embarrassing. Oh, my family's going to think I'm this, or they're going to think I'm that. And then I'm like, all right,
Okay.
I'm gonna do it, you know. And as I do it, it's weird because I simultaneously experience the freedom of doing it, but it dances. It's like when I gave my speech in Birmingham. It was the one of the hardest things I'd had to do, which surprised me, which then pissed me off and disappointed me. But then it was almost like this. It was like I was felt intuitively being called to do one thing, but my ego wanted to do something else, and I felt like I was just battling, 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 battling. But I was attached. I was attached to the fact that I wanted to look good. I was attached to the fact that I wanted to give a presentation. I was attached to the fact that I'd spent hours presenting stuff. But every time my intuition was like, no, I didn't like the feeling. It felt uncomfortable. And when I questioned it deeper, it's because it's funny because you was there actually when we went to dinner, and one of the guys that was with us said, "Oh, Dom, I got to be honest, I didn't experience you in your power." And that pissed me off a bit naturally, and because that was one of my fears, and I knew that people that had known me or been with me in certain containers, I knew that there would be a different essence to me on stage, because I didn't want to present a more vulnerable or aspect of myself. Um, and that's what I was fighting against. Because what was true for me was that I know I'm attached to the fact that I'm people view me as this particular way. Some people do, and they're going to be in that room. And now I've got to present maybe a more truer side of me. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're
Oh
going to,
yes. Oh yeah. Hmm.
you know? And so why I took the action? Because the night before I was gonna quit. The night before I was like, I'm not going on stage. The night before I was having a bad time. And I was like, I was gonna message Matt many, many times. But you know what stopped me? Like I said previously, if there's a feeling that I have, I'm like, there is no way. If I get on stage and shit myself and cry and trip up, it has to be done. I have to go through it. I have to challenge the attachment to that. So, and that's what I was committed to. That's what had me show up and you know, have whatever fun I did. And I don't regret it. And it was amazing. And I'm looking forward to actually, being on stage again. But I couldn't shortcut it. So these are just all ways for people to feel into how do they know they're attached to something? Like how do they know it's true for them?
Yeah, and I think this is one of the key pieces if we want to create freedom.
Yeah.
It's seeing where we are attached, and it's especially attached to certain stories we have about the situation and about ourselves.
Mhm.
Whereas that's because that's all it is. We're just attached to a story, and it's just even a story that we somewhere in life decided to believe.
Yep.
And that's it, and we're just carrying it with us, and we're attached to it because we think this is the truth, and that's why it takes loads of courage to question it, challenge it, and not just internally challenge it, but like you did, challenging it on stage.
Yeah.
The attachment. This is who I'm supposed to be.
And I'd go as far to say we don't just think it's the truth, we feel it's the truth. That's the
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the
you
that's the
know
challenging part. Yeah,
we feel it's the truth, which is crazy. And I always use this reference like our when we're younger, we can change our truths a lot quicker. But as we get older, we settle into those cognitive neuro pathways. You know, the neurological pathways that you keep running, running, running. So those beliefs just become set.
stronger.
When you're
Yeah,
younger, you believe in Santa Claus. I did. The boogeyman. I did. Like that was a real belief for me to the point where it affected my feelings. I felt scared. I felt excited for Christmas. I made oranges and put cookies out and put milk out because Santa was coming. This was my truth. While everyone else was living a different reality. All the adults, it was just like, but for me, that was my truth at that time. And then you get older, you learn a few more things, and you adapt your feelings and you go, oh, okay, that's what kids believe. Now this is what adults believe. And I feel like we get stuck in that once we realize that separation between, almost the way that, and then we go, right, this is what adults believe. And I think it's from that stage where we start forming these beliefs and these truths at a deeper level that are harder to break, to challenge.
yeah. I think that's why one of the most powerful things is a paradigm shift.
Mm.
When that happens, and even in little things, when Kellyanne was realizing, like, oh, they don't give me this feeling, like I'm creating this feeling with my expectations and my maybe hidden agenda. When she was reflecting upon that, her paradigm shifted, and I
Mhm.
think that's it. I think that's what coaching is about. I think that's what we consistently want to experience in life as well.
Yeah.
These shifts. That's freedom.
Yeah, and we have access to them. And one modality to practice mastery in that is creative expression. Or is when you have a desire like to do something and then go, fuck, this is your chance to do a few reps. Because all of these psychological and these mind, even paradigms, they're nothing but repetition, over time that create them as more concrete.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym. So you don't start off big and heavy, but you have to do the work. You have to do the action. And so it's like, I want to be creatively expressive. And it's like, oh, this is a truth. It feels true. And you know what the craziest thing is? What's true for me a year ago is not true for me anymore. But the truths back then, I had to honor them to create space. I had to action, to grow. And the growth's never gonna stop. It's like, who knows what my truth will be. But I just think there are some fundamental core values that I'll always hold true. Um, but outside of that,
The way they are expressed is maybe completely different, indeed, depending on the phase of life you're in. Yeah.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
So this is our second episode of this this this
The,
Sunday.
this is the more real version. So that's why it's coming on the 15 minutes. And I'm definitely going to publish this one because we
Oh,
recorded
yeah.
another one. The only thing I'm conscious of is that I was doing a lot more talking in this one and less it was less you talking. But I mean,
No problem.
I guess
You can choose which one you want to use, or both.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think that's that. So if anyone's interested in the video that we mentioned, then do let us know, and we'll definitely send you the video. We'd love to know your 2 pennies on it. Other than that, have a great week ahead. Take care.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for listening to this installment of the Aim Now podcast. As always, we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, queries, ideas, or insights, then feel free to send us an email to info@aimnow.co.uk. If you feel into the value of being part of a community like this, then we would love to invite you to head over to aimnow.co.uk and opt in to experience this community, the resource center, and the one-on-one support that we offer absolutely free. So as always, guys, dream big, stay inspired, and take action now.